Welcome to the first Livin in the Past podcast. Honestly, it's my first podcast ever. Um, I don't really know a lot about technology and stuff, so you're probably going to hear me cough. You're going to hear me sneeze. I'll probably be trying to keep the cats away from the microphone. You might hear some meowing from a 22-pound cat. Hopefully not. If you live with cats, you're never alone. The reason I wanted to make a podcast, I'm on the internet every day. I see so much crap. As an adult, the world's a lot different than when you're a kid. When you're a kid, everything's magical. As an adult, you kind of see behind the curtain. So, I just want to go back to simpler times. We can talk about hobbies, stuff that was awesome in the past, upcoming things, nerdy things, anything really. Before I get started, I want to give out some thank yous to some people. Number one, this sounds kind of corny or whatever, but just hear me out. I want to give a huge thank you to the man upstairs because 2 days ago I was in a car accident while I was working. A lady pulled out and hit me. She thought I was turning. I wasn't turning. Thankfully I seen her at the last possible second. I had some time to slow down. I was going like 50 or 45, whatever. And I hit her, or she hit me, and, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, I could almost hit a bus of kids, but thankfully nobody was hurt. So, and just, thank God whoever's watching over me, because it was very terrible. I wouldn't be here today talking to you. Secondly, my parents, my mom and dad. I mean, I'm doing a podcast about my awesome childhood or things I loved growing up, Without my mom and dad, I wouldn't have had the childhood I had, They did so much for me. They still do so much for me. And because of them, I have these awesome memories. I hope I can do even close, for my kids. I'm trying. Everything that I am, everything that I, basically if there's anything you like about me, if I, always nice and this and that, and it's from them. Like, I owe them everything, not just material wise, but like the stuff they've taught me since I've been a kid, So I love them very much. I'm so proud that they're my parents. I'm hoping, I make them proud every day. Jessie, my wonderful, amazing fiance, is the one who made this logo for this podcast. She spent a lot of time on that. It turned out amazing. I love it. She is wonderful. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better person in my life. I mean, we've been together 5 years now. She has never put me down. She can't stand if I ever say anything bad about myself. She's my rock. I mean, we have a daughter, Harmony. She keeps me young, She thinks I'm really cool, which, she'll be 8 on Monday. So soon when she's a teenager, I won't be so cool anymore, but, she'll come back around when she's probably 20 and she'll think I'm cool again, so I'll just wait it out. And last but not least, my friends and family members who, I had a dream, a couple weeks ago about, I had a podcast or something and it turned out really good and whatever, and I said, I woke up and I said I should do that. I should make one. And if you've ever talked to me in real life or in life and worked with me, you know I can just go on and on about this stuff. So it's easy for me to talk about this stuff. And people, I posted on Facebook that I had this dream about this, and I'm just sitting there posting on Facebook, eating a bag of chips, picking them off my chest or whatever, talking about, I should have a podcast, and people are, yeah, you should do it, you'd be great. I mean, the people were so supportive. I haven't even done anything yet. I'm just sitting there, eating a bag of chips, just BSing about I should do this. And I mean, it's been great. I mean, people are, even today, up until 10 minutes ago, before I even started doing this, people have been saying, they'll think I'll do good and this and that. I mean, it means so much to me to have people that just believe in you and everything. So it's been a long week. Thank God it's Friday. I mean, as an adult, you look forward to Friday so much. Even when you're a kid, Friday is, my God. Remember when you were a kid and you'd get off the bus and just throw your bag and you have the whole weekend to yourself? And if you're one of them kids that did their homework on Friday, which I was not, I was a Sunday nighter, which I'm sure a lot of you were. But yeah, Friday night, amazing. It's an awesome feeling to not set an alarm for the weekend. And if you do work on the weekend, bless you, because I used to work on the weekend. It sucks. Like, I used to only have off Tuesday and Thursday. Like, I didn't have a weekend. So, if you're one of the lucky people like myself who don't work weekends, don't give those people crap at the store or anywhere you go. Like, they have to work. So yeah, let's sit back and talk about some stuff. I got a Orange Crush and a Ninja Turtle mug, which an awesome friend gave me. So once again, thank you for that mug. I didn't really know what to talk about, so I asked people what they would like me to talk about. And one of the questions I get a lot is, how did I start collecting? I collect toys and I collect autographs and movie props and trading cards and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's not like a hoarder, but it's, a collector. A lot of stuff's in boxes. But yeah, people ask me, how do I get started? Well, I was lucky enough and blessed enough to grow up in the 80s and 90s, which, if people are listening that grew up in that time, it was the best time for cartoons and maybe music. I don't know. Some of you might say 80s music is terrible, but I like it. Cartoons and movies, and especially toys. Oh my God, the toys were just... Nintendo started out in the 80s. Atari was fading out, but Nintendo was huge. So yeah, I mean, I collected when I was a kid. My brother is only 2 years older than me, which was a blessing because we both liked the same stuff and we're close in age, and it was like, Christmas, birthdays, or just when we're out shopping, getting toys, and we both liked the same stuff. It was great because it was like just building these collections. So I guess I started collecting back then, but when you're a kid, you have your room. Remember when you have your room? And it builds up fast, so, when the Ninja Turtles came out, the Ghostbusters stuff had to go, and so forth and so on. Like, He-Man went when, we got rid of He-Man when, I think we got into Star Wars, but you know what I mean? All the stuff went to Goodwill, so it's kind of like you couldn't hold on to anything. Which I really wish I had back. I really wish I had all my childhood toys back, but there's no possible way. And weirdly enough, if I didn't open my childhood toys back then, I mean, it would have sucked, and I sold them today, I probably wouldn't have to work today, which is a weird thing to think about. So this leading up to my parents, unfortunately got divorced when I was about 9 or 10, which it was rough. Everyone has those moments in their life that just shows you that life isn't fair. It ages you. It shows you that life isn't magical when you're a kid. I mean, there's certain events, and that was one of them in my life. My parents getting divorced, splitting your family. But I think about a year after they were divorced, year or two, I'd say, like 93 or 94, we were at a relative of my stepdad's. It was like a birthday party or something, and I'm a young kid, and it's a different family I don't know, and my brother and I are hanging out, just kind of talking to each other, and my mom pulled me aside, and she says, so-and-so wants to show you something in the basement. Don't worry, I survived. Spoiler, But, so I had no idea what he's going to show me in the basement, So my mom and I go down there with this guy. It's his house, and we go down there, and he had a bunch of Rubbermaids, and he had a bunch of long boxes, which, if you don't collect comics, it's the boxes they store comics in. So I had no idea. I'm like, I don't know what any of this is. So we go down there, and he says, "You like toys?" And of course, I mean, geez, I'm like 5th or 6th grade. I mean, who doesn't? So he opens these up, and it's like all these toys and play sets and stuff that I haven't seen for, I don't know, 5-6 years now, being the age that I was. And it's all old toys, and it's all unopened stuff. And you got to think, back then, people didn't, how do I say this? You were weird, I guess you would say, if you saved toys, because back then no one really collected them. It wasn't like this big market like it is today. There wasn't eBay. I mean, if you've seen old toys, it was at like a garage sale, and they were all like used toys in a box and stuff. So I mean, I was blown away by this. I'm like, why does this man have all these these toys that are unopened? So I thought it was the coolest thing, and I was in like about 6th grade, I think, when this was going on. I mean, I was kind of getting out of toys a little bit. I wasn't like playing with them, but I really liked it. I thought this was really cool what this guy was doing. So he told my mom and I about this toy show in St. Charles, Illinois. And he says they have it 3 times a year. It was, let me think, April, June, and October. And he says, go check this out. And so we waited, a couple months. I saved up allowance, and I did chores for extra money because I wanted to see what this thing was. So, I grabbed a couple buddies. I grabbed my buddy Rory and my cousin David. And we went to this, and they slept over at my mom's house or my house, whatever. And in the morning, we got up at, oh God, what time was it? I think it opened at like 6 or 7, and it took us like an hour to get down there. So we had to get up pretty early, and that's, for a kid, that's brutal. But we drove down there. We ate breakfast at like Burger King and stuff, and so we got down there, and the line of people was amazing. It was at like a old like fairground. They had like all the like cattle barns and sheep stalls and all that. And we get there, and there's this huge line of people. And I thought, what is this place? And so we get in the line, we pay our money, going, and it was like the stuff I seen in that guy's basement times like 100. I mean, there was people with tables, and they had so much stuff, and it was just, it was like mind-boggling, because it was like I said, you didn't have like eBay, and you didn't have all these people who collected the stuff. There was no internet, so you didn't know people were doing this. And so we're just walking around looking at all this stuff, and it was bizarre, because you're thinking, the stuff isn't in the stores anymore. And you're thinking, this stuff shouldn't exist. Like, why is this stuff still here? So, I mean, it was really cool. I mean, it was really cool. I'll never forget that, walking in there and seeing all that stuff. I mean, action figures and play sets and displays, and oh my God, it was just like a sensory overload. But the first figure I bought at my first toy show I went to at that day was a 1983, I think think that's when Return of the Jedi came out. Yeah, 1983, Return of the Jedi, Chewbacca. And it was unopened. It cost me $50, $50 or $60, which sounds like a lot, but that's a steal back then. I mean, it's a steal now. Like, you won't find it for that. And I bought that, and I don't know, that I just gravitated towards that. I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen one of these since I was a kid, and it was just cool to see it with like older eyes, you know, looking at these toys. And I had to have it, and because my brother and I were huge Star Wars fans. I mean, still are today. But yeah, and that figure is still in my collection today. I've tried to collect all the Star Wars figures from 1977 through 85. That's when they were releasing them, and I think there's 96 different ones. I mean, I was collecting them from 6th grade, and that was that year, until recently. And I think I have like 50 or 60 unopened. I mean, I'm close to the whole set, but with the new movies coming out and everything, I couldn't do it anymore, because, and also I'm a grown up and I have bills and stuff, you know how that is. But I couldn't do it anymore because they're so popular and they're so expensive now. Like a figure that I say I bought for, I don't know, $35 unopened back in 2000 is now $300 today. So it's like I can't do it. And what really stinks is, you know, you want to keep collecting stuff, but you can't because of the prices. And, you know, people, I'm getting sidetracked, but let me just say this. People think collectors are like these people who think, you know, I'm gonna collect all this stuff, and then someday I'm just gonna retire rich and all. No, I mean, those are like dealers. Collectors, they collect it because it, you know, it's something they love. Or, for me, I collect stuff that reminds me of something, like a for instance, like the Star Wars figures or Garbage Pail Kids I collect. When I look at them, I don't just see, you know, that figure or that card or this. I remember it instantly brings me back to when that certain time, you know, I could see a Darth Vader or something. I remember my brother and I getting one at KB Toys and Regency Mall, or, you know. But no, collectors, they're not in it for the money. And if you want to get in the collecting for the money, don't, because you're going to be sorely disappointed, because there's really no money in it. The money comes out of you. You don't get it back. Where was I going with this? But no, so I bought that figure, and since then, you know, I've been collecting. It started with toys, and it moved on to other things, and somebody else asked me what it was like to be a collector at school. Was I one of the cool kids, because, you know, it was retro, and it can't be retro if it's back then, because, you know, it's not that old back then. When we were going to those toy shows, we went 3 times a year, and that was in grade school. I went 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. That's when I was collecting in grade school for those years, and it was kind of like our, you know, there was only 3 of us that were going, me and 2 friends, and it was just kind of like our little secret. Like we just went to these things, you know. There was no Facebook, so we're not posting on there. People had no idea, you know. And I had a group of friends in grade school, other friends that didn't go to these or didn't collect, and they were into sports or other stuff, and, you know, they never, you know, I love you guys, they never, you know, gave me crap about it. They knew I liked doing that, and they never, you know, said anything about it. I love them to death for that. But yeah, it was like our secret little club that we were going to these things, and, you know, I'm going to grade school every day, and little do people know my room is just filling up with all these like toys from their childhood, and it carried over into high school. I still collected in high school. It was hard on $5 a week allowance, but I got a job my freshman year. I started waiting tables at a place called Taste of Wisconsin, which is now Birchwood. in my first paycheck, I went to a comic book shop called Rockheads in Kenosha, and I bought a figure that I've been wanting for a long time. It cost me like $80 or something, and it was cool because I was earning my own money and I was still supporting it. But high school, I didn't really tell anybody that much that I was collecting. I mean, high school is brutal. I mean, everyone is judging everybody. Everyone wants to fit in. You don't go out there and say, hey, guess what? I'm collecting action figures from when we were kids, or, something like, I mean, they judge you enough. I'm not gonna, it's fuel on the fire. There was some kids that knew and they were nice, and then some kids found out and they say some crap. As far as high school goes, I mean, if you're a younger kid listening, if you're in high school or anything like that, I don't know who's really going to listen to this, but say you are, if you are, like, seriously, just be you. Like, don't, see, when I was a kid, we didn't have stores like Hot Topic or FYE, and all this retro stuff was not in. Okay, we didn't have it. So seriously, just be you. Like, there's gonna be people that are gonna give you crap, no matter what you do. Okay. And I'm 34 years old, and you probably think I'm ancient, but I'm sure a lot of people agreeing with me, or a lot of people will agree with me that are listening. Like, it's the best time of your life being a kid. Like, don't let those people get to you, because you're gonna deal with jerks your whole life. And you'll spend so much energy just worrying about what other people think. And you have all your friends around you, and you're not going to have that again. I mean, ask anyone my age or around my age how often all your friends from high school get together. It's hard. Like, I have a better chance of giving you the lottery numbers for tomorrow than trying to, coordinate 5 of my buddies' schedules and work schedules and family and this. But just oh my God, don't let them people bully you around. And if they are, talk to somebody, a friend, a teacher, your parents, somebody. I mean, high school really sucks, I know. And a lot of those people, you get out of high school, you won't see them again. There's people I graduated with high school, I never seen them again. They like fell off the face of the earth. There's people I thought were my friends in high school that don't really talk to me anymore. There's people who didn't talk to me in high school who are now my friends. How that works, I don't know. You're in school with people for 4 years and these people don't talk to you, and then you talk to them more when you don't see them. I don't know how that works. But, there's cool people that I found out are cool now. Okay, I found out, what I'm trying to say is, you wish you would have been friends with them back in school. Because you find out, man, that person's really cool. I wish I would have hung out with them. And now it's not too late, but it's like, you don't really have time, or, opportunities aren't there. But, give people a chance. I mean, if somebody doesn't like you, screw them. Like, who cares? Like, you're young. Oh my God. I can't stress it enough. Like, if I knew then what I know now, oh my God. Like, high school would have been so much different. I mean, I wouldn't have let anyone talk to me the way they did. I went through so much hell with some people, and I don't even know if some of them remember it, because, they're the bully. But, when somebody says something hurtful to you, you remember it. I mean, think about how many things that you can think of that's hurtful to you, but how many compliments do you remember? Not many, the hurtful things stick out. But, yeah, high school was pretty tough with that. Like, I didn't really, we didn't have shirts with different shows on it like we do now. When I was in 7th or 8th grade, I think 8th grade, they started bringing back, like, different things. I remember going to Kohl's, and they had, like, a Frosted Flake shirt, maybe a Trix cereal shirt and the Lucky Charms one. I remember I bought a Trix one. And it was weird to me that they had like cereal on adult shirts, or older kid shirts or something. And I remember wearing it, and people kind of gave me looks because it wasn't usual. I mean, we didn't have that where you could just go to the store and get these certain things, and like they do now. I mean, I wish they did. I really wish they did. And you know what? So much of that stuff exists now, like at Hot Topic or FYE or any of that place, is because people my age are probably coming up with them ideas. It's stuff they wish they would have had when we were younger. I will tell you one story about high school that has stuck with me. I was in a government class in my junior year, which would have been 98, 99. And it was right before the new Star Wars movie was going to come out. And it was the first prequel. The Star Wars movie hadn't come out since, 83. I mean, it was a prequel, and people were excited. Of course, I'm excited. And there was two kids in my class that they just sucked. Like, every day they would just pick at me, There was a kid who sat in front of me, and there was a kid to my left. I don't know why I remember their seats, but every day they would mess with me. Every single day. They found out I collected this or my interest with that. And I don't know why it just bothered them that I don't know how I affected their life by what I'm doing. I wasn't hurting them. But every day they would say some stuff to me. Every single day. And it went on for a while. And there was a kid in my class. I don't know if I should say his name. I'm sure people who went to high school with me that were in my graduating class will figure out who I'm talking about. But there was a kid in my class. I didn't talk to him freshman, sophomore year. So now I'm in my junior year. And he still is. He was so cool. I thought this guy was so cool. He was very smart. I heard he's really tough. And I mean, he's intimidating, But he seemed nice and intimidating, if that makes sense. Like, he just didn't want to get on his bad side. I mean, he even had like a badass sounding name. I'm sure people are trying to figure out who I'm talking about. But it was just another day, and these kids were picking at me. And it was right before class started, before the bell, and these kids were, their usual stuff. And all of a sudden, this kid got up, and he started walking towards me. And I thought, oh, okay, well, whatever. And he said my name, which I'm surprised he knew my name. So I looked up at him, and he says, rumor has it you collect stuff. And I don't want to say, I mean, I thought this kid was like a badass. Like, I'm not going to tell him, oh yeah, I collect lightsabers and this and that. So I said, yeah, I do, whatever. And so he says, do you collect Star Wars stuff? And I said, yeah. He says, you're excited about that new movie? And I said, of course. So he grabbed the desk real quick, and he scooted it towards me. And he says, I want to talk to you about something I'm trying to collect. And I said, really? I said, what kind of stuff? And he said it was Star Wars related. And I said, oh, that's cool. And I said, okay. So this guy the bell rings, and he puts his desk back, and he goes and sits down. Instantly, these two bullies that were picking up, they didn't know what to do. I mean, here's this dude that could easily have, just whooped these two guys, taking an interest in me and Star Wars and stuff. And oh, what did he want? What do you think he wants? And it's like, these guys treated me like garbage every day. Do you think I'm gonna make a conversation? I said, you know what? I said, don't worry about it. It's nerd talk. Remember, I'm a nerd. You don't want to know anything about that. So, I met him. I think he talked to me in the hall. I don't know. I forget where it was that I eventually found out what he wanted. And what he wanted was, during this promotion for the new movie, they had different characters on soda cans. And there was I want to say there's 50 or 60 different characters. And I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. Each 12-pack or 24-pack only had one character on their can. So if you got like a 12, like say you got like a 24 pack, and I don't know, there was like a Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker or something on that one, like in a 24 pack, there'd be like one person for that whole 24 pack. So if you wanted that can for your collection, you had to buy that whole 12 pack or 24 pack, unless you were very lucky and found a single can at like a gas station. And it was on Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew, Pepsi One. I don't even know if they make that anymore. Cherry Pepsi, Diet Pepsi. I don't know if I said that. And so you had to buy, like I said, a 12 pack or a 24 pack for that one character. And this is what he wanted. He wanted me to help him. And weirdly enough, I was already collecting these cans. Me and my buddy Rory and I were collecting these. And he said, I'm looking for these certain ones, He said, can you help me? And I said, sure. So, I'm, what are you in junior year? 17? So I'm 17 years old and drive around my beater truck checking all these different Shopkos and Kmarts and different stuff for these cans. And I'm buying 24 packs of Pepsi One, which is really gross. And I'm just drinking cases of soda just for that one stinking can. And so then he's bringing me a can that he found that I need, and I'm bringing him a can that I found that he needs. And it was cool. It was like, it was really cool. Like this guy that I really respected and I thought was really cool wants my help. And so we were like smuggling cans of soda into high school. I don't know if we could drink in high school during classes. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me. I want to say it had to be like a bottle of water with a cap, but I don't think you'd have soda. So anyway, we're smuggling these in there and we're switching. And you know what is crazy is these two guys that were picking on me, seeing me and him switching cans real quick before class, they didn't say nothing anymore to me. Like, they were so just, I don't know if they felt stupid for how they acted. I don't know. But it was really cool. Like, I hung out with him a couple years ago. We went to a convention together. And if he's listening to this now, he really knows who I'm talking about. And if you are listening, seriously, thank you, like, so much, because those guys would not lay off me for anything, and that meant the world to me to have just two more people not on me. And it was cool. It was really cool. Like, he's still cool to this day. He's one of the people I respect a lot. So there's that. I guess that answers the question about collecting at school somewhat. Somebody else wanted to know, or a couple people wanted to know, what I think about selling old video games. Like, if you're my age, you grew up with Nintendo in the 80s and 90s, and I'm sure you got all your games. If you're lucky, you still have all your games laying around. I wish I did. We sold ours to, I think, a neighbor, my grandma's neighborhood. Because whenever a new game system would come out, we seemed like we sold our old ones to get money for the new ones. We sold our Nintendo games to make money for Super Nintendo games, and I sold all my Super Nintendo games of Funko Land for money for Nintendo 64 games. But anyway, as far as selling your old games, if you need space and you want to sell them, sure. Sell them. My best piece of advice for that is in the collecting community, or whatever you want to call it, knowledge is like, oh my God, it's golden. Do your research, look these games up, see what they go for. If you want the most money out of them, I recommend selling them on eBay. Don't sell them to these little shops, comic shops, or different type of dealers like that, because they're going to give you less money because they need to make money back on them, if you get what I mean. But yeah, research them. There's some games that are, you don't think they're rare and they're worth a bunch of money. I mean, if you want try to get some money for your kids' education or something like that. If you're buying games, old games, again, do your research, because just like anything, where there's money to be made, there's always going to be someone there trying to rip you off. I mean, I've seen fakes of different things that are so close to, the real deal. I mean, do your research, try to find, look up ways to spot fakes in games, and it goes with action figures too. I mean, like I said, Star Wars figures are so expensive now. I research that all the time, different things and different things to look for. I mean, it gets really ridiculous. It really does. Weapons, like say an action figure came with a, weapon. It's to the point now where people have the technology to reproduce these weapons, like get molds and casts and whatever and reproduce these weapons. I mean, I've seen different ways where you drop a weapon in a cup of water, and if it sinks, I forget which it is. If it sinks or floats, it determines if it's original or it's a reproduction. But yeah, so yeah, do your research. I mean, I don't know much about cars at all. I don't know anything really about that stuff. When I go to a like an auto parts store, if I need something, I bring someone with me, because I don't know that stuff. If I walk in there saying, I don't really know much about cars, they get them cartoon dollar signs in their eyes, and next thing I know, I'm broke. Yeah, so seriously, do your research. I mean, if you have friends that are collecting games, I mean, talk to them about it. They would be happy to take them off your hands. I mean, I have a friend that collects games. He's one of my best friends ever. And I decided to part with my Nintendo 64 games, and I sold him a bunch. And I gave him, I gave him such a deal. It was a steal. And he really appreciated it. I got some money for him, which is fine. Like I said, I'm not in it for the money. But yeah, talk to your friends if maybe they want to buy them from you. As far as, this sounds weird, but in the collecting community, they have something called Holy Grail items. It's kind of like your, something that's really rare that, maybe only one person has, or like the most wanted thing for your collection. For as far as video games go, you probably laugh at this, but my Holy Grail video games are my brother and I, Tim and I's first Nintendo games. Like I said, we sold them, but my mom wrote our names on every cartridge with a Sharpie. And when I'm out and about and I'm looking at these different places, I actually look like maybe I'll find Tim and Rob on a Mario Brothers or a Ninja Gaiden or something like that. Oh my God, I look every now and then, like just this glimmer of hope that I'm gonna find one. I don't know, maybe they got thrown away by whoever bought them, or somebody found a way to take Sharpie off cartridges. But for me, it's my Holy Grail for video games. I would love to find them again. And that's the same thing with toys. I have a lot of toys that are unopened, and sometimes people say, "Oh, what's your most valuable one?" or what are you after? You know what? If I could have back all the toys that we gave to Goodwill, they were beat up and missing limbs and missing this and paint wear, and I would love to have them back. I mean, because they were ours. There's so many memories having those. But it's wishful thinking. But I'm still holding on to finding my old games. I think that would be that'd be such a treat to get Mario Brothers back, like with our name on it. Because I remember that Christmas. That was one of the best Christmases ever, getting a Nintendo. Oh my God, I remember the smell of it. I remember trying to hook that thing up to a TV. Our TV, we changed the channel with pliers. It was nothing special, but it was like we had a Nintendo. It was it was awesome. Like it was, I think Nintendo was tied for the best present ever with a bike. I was so excited for a bike. But yeah, so that's hopefully that answers those questions. I mean, if you have anything you'd like me to talk about or ask me, I mean, it can be anything nerdy. I mean, anything. I mean, anything about the past or anything about my personal life. Whatever. I'll talk about it. Also, I mentioned this on Facebook. If you like that logo that Jesse designed, I would love, love, love to put that on some shirts or some hoodies or both. And I have to look into how much it is to get stuff made, but I would love to sell those if anyone wants any. And any profit from those, 100% of it, I don't want it. 100% of that profit, I would love to donate to different animal organizations. I have a friend that runs an amazing animal rescue for farm animals. I donate to them. I donate to their name is Tiny Hooves. I donate to Soy Dogs, which is overseas, and different animal shelters here. But yeah, I would love to sell those and make some money to help animals. But I think that's about it for today. I've been talking your your ears off, looks like, for 40 minutes now. I couldn't believe it went that long. But seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to this, for supporting me. I'll try my hardest to get out one of these a week. Like I said, being an adult, your schedule is just crazy. But seriously, thank you so much for all the support, all the comments, everything. I hope this was enjoyable. Thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right, talk to you guys later.